Greetings, defenseless fools. I am Patrick Smith. Welcome back to Disenthrall. Thanks for watching. Quick one today for you guys. This came out of a conversation that I recently had on our Discord server. Link in the description if you'd like to join that. This has to do... We have some viewers that live in Australia, and they're constantly giving us news about what's going on over there. And the laws and the way that they are controlled over there is, well, one of the most fascistic places I've heard of to live in. One of the last places I would live on Earth right now is Australia, to put it lightly. Anyway, so a while back, he sent me a story about how the police in Australia, I forget where specifically in Australia, were, you know, doing those cop brag things where they, you know, show you a picture of, you know, some scary thing that they confiscated from someone, and they're like, see, don't you feel safe now that we got this off the street? In fact, I think, well, in this particular case, it was literally a little pocket knife that like a Boy Scout would have here in the US. Just like, and not even like a tactical looking thing. It was just like a pocket knife. And the police are literally bragging and saying things like, well, I bet you're really glad that this is in our possession tonight instead of out there on the street. Just with like no sense of embarrassment or anything. And, you know, so, you know, I gave our Australian viewer, you know, some crap about that, for, you know, living in a country that disrespects him to that degree, right? But then I said something, I said something like, yeah, you've already let the tools that you need to stop them from caging you over butter knives get taken away from you. I'm not sure how you ever reverse that. And I said that flippantly, and it wasn't even really a good thing to say because obviously, you know, he was too young or not even alive at the time when they outlawed self-defense tools like butter knives. So, you know, it was wrong to collectivize him into that country and then try and blame him for the state of affairs. That's absolutely not the case. He doesn't consent to that. It has nothing to do with him. That said, today he gave us another link. And today's link is from a Queensland police website describing how you should deal with being attacked or with being confronted, robbed, let's say. And I just want to quickly scan through here. This is not going to be a long show. I just wanted to make a quick point. This is mostly fluff, you know, think about what you're doing before you do it. If their motivation is to rob you, this may mean, you know, the best thing for you to do is hand over your wallet or handbag. Yeah, sure, sometimes that is the case. If the motivation for the confrontation is to assault you, there are a wide range of different strategies available for you to consider. Firstly, it is good to be aware of some of the common characteristics, blah, blah, blah. Physical self-defense. In Queensland, you have the right to physically defend yourself with reasonable force, provided that this force is authorized, justified, or excused by law. It is not necessary to attend self-defense classes or undertake martial arts training to be able to effectively defend oneself. Each person has a survival instinct that acts to preserve their safety if threatened. The determining factor as to whether a person can successfully defend themselves is their commitment to their own personal safety. They suggest screaming. Step 1, scream loudly, because it might get your adrenaline running and make you more able to defend yourself. Go for eyes, throat, and groin. Weapons. You know, so I've skipped over the fluff. Here we are. Weapons. Read these words, because pretty much all weapons are banned in Australia. Depending on the situation, weapons may be used in self-defense. What weapons, you ask? Items such as pens, keys, hairbrushes, in fact, nearly any object, except actual weapons, can be used as an effective weapon. Remember to emphasize, however, that the force used must be authorized, justified, or excused by law. As a rule, the law generally does not allow the carrying of anything that can be described as a weapon. This includes mace, spray dye, most personal alarms, or any other items which have been specifically adapted, such as sharpened combs, knives carried for the purpose of self-defense, etc. So I'm gonna finish this absurdity real quick before I make the point. Here are the options you have for physical self-defense, because they've literally outlawed all the effective ones. In an attack or confrontation, there are a number of options available that do not require physical self-defense to fend off the attacker. Fake a heart attack, asthma attack, epileptic fit, faint, or mental illness. Fake a coughing fit, ask for a glass of water. Fake a coughing fit and ask your attacker for a glass of water. Call out to a fictitious person behind the attacker. Tell the attacker that you have AIDS. Negotiate with the attacker. Tell the attacker that, quote, someone will be coming back in a minute. Ask to go to the bathroom to remove a tampon or insert a diaphragm. Be revolting. Throw up. Defecate, urinate, pick your nose. In the case of an attack involving a knife or other weapons, this is going to be tough to listen to for people that are reasonable. In the case of an attack involving a knife or other weapons that can't possibly exist because they're completely banned, use the fantasy option to remove the threat of the weapon. What is the fantasy option, might you ask? Say, quote, I've always fantasized about this happening to me, but the knife makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't even have words for this. I've always fantasized about being attacked with a knife or a gun, but it makes me uncomfortable. Wait for the attacker's attention to be momentarily diverted and seek escape. And the last option, anything else you can think of to stop the attack or create an opportunity to escape, except actually carry tools with which to defend yourself. Whew. That's a special kind of stupid. So, the point I wanted to make, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for sticking with me through that, is pretty straightforward. I'm not aware of a single country in the history of the world, a single population that has allowed their right to possess the tools of self-defense to be taken from them that have ever gotten them back. And so I'm pretty much talking to the US primarily right now. If there is a single right that you Americans out there should fight back and die for if necessary, it is this right to carry the tools, to own and possess and utilize the tools necessary to defend yourself from rapists, robbers, attackers, and governments. I guess this is pretty revolutionary stuff for the rest of the world still. In America, it still makes most sense to a large portion of the population here. But we're getting close. We are getting very close to allowing this particular one, this fundamental linchpin, cornerstone right of maintaining what's left of our self-ownership. This is the one that you protect with your life. This is the one that you fight back over. You might choose to lay down for most of the others and suck it up, or to, you know, the cost benefit in your life means that you need to, you got a family, you've got, you know, things that you're working, whatever. There are valid excuses for not being a rights warrior 24/7, and there are valid arguments for just living your life. No, I see you, one of those guys in chat. I see it. It's fine. You're good. There are valid reasons for most of the other stuff, but this one, we will never get back if we let them take it. Our children and our children's children and our children's 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 children will never be able to own the tools to defend themselves from bad men in or out of government if we let that happen. Strong message, short message, but I hope you see how important and critical it is. If you have kids especially, it is for their sake that is the right I will not back off on. For their sake. I'm interested to see what your thoughts are, what feedback you have. If that's your line, or if your line is somewhere else, I appreciate it. If you like this content, check out our Subscribestar, Patreon, Bitbacker, all that good stuff. Join our Discord if you want to have discussions. Thanks for watching, guys.